What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. This week's episode is probably going to be one of the most interesting because I'm going to be talking about SummerSlam 2022 and the question that everybody's been asking for the last 48 hours. Was SummerSlam exactly what we expected? Or did we expect something different? Well, did we? Let's find out, shall we? But before we get started with the episode, if you guys enjoyed this video and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Monday, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. And as always, make sure you guys follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. Because this is going to be a very intriguing episode. And also, my birthday's coming up in about a couple weeks. So, I see no better time to get signed to WWE than now. So, let your voices be heard. Let WWE know, go on social media, tag me in your posts, and let the WWE know what is up. And on that, let's get straight into the episode. So, SummerSlam was probably one of the most unique shows we've had in years. And the reason why I say that is because of the fact that the card, if you look at this card compared to all the other different cards we've had over the years, it's been pretty impressive. Like if you look at 2016, let's look at 2016 really quickly. You had Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. You had Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor for the right to be called the first ever Universal Champion. You had Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's title. Miz versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental title. AJ Styles and John Cena going at it. What else? Rusev and of course Roman Reigns for the U.S. title. That a card like that wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad, but still it was unique to say the very least. And then of course too, you look at 2017 SummerSlam, and this card actually not too bad. Not too bad. I mean we got to see a fatal 4-way for the Universal title. We had Shinsuke Nakamura challenge Jinder Mahal for the WWE title. We had the Cruiserweight title defended. Literally all this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 titles defended. Excuse me. There were 8 titles defended amongst all the titles that we had in WWE at that time. And then of course too, you look at 2018, SummerSlam 2018. Not the best card, but at least we got to see somebody take the Universal title off of Brock Lesnar, and that was Roman Reigns at that point. Ronda Rousey became Raw Women's Champion, which started her run as a heel for the most part. We had Braun Strowman battle Kevin Owens for the right to be called Mr. Money in the Bank. We had a pretty good card in 2018. 2019 though was rather interesting, to say the very least. It wasn't anything too special with SummerSlam 2019, but still it was pretty decent. And then of course you look at 2020, the pandemic. You look at SummerSlam pandemic. Rather rather sucked for the most part. For the most part, it sucked. Obviously, we did get to see the in-ring debut of Rey Mysterio's son Dominic, but still, it wasn't that bad. But last year's SummerSlam was, in my opinion, probably not the worst, but probably not the best either. Simply because of the fact that we saw Becky Lynch, return to WWE after being away for 16 months. Ends up becoming a heel, and now she's back as a babyface, which I mean her run as a heel kind of ran its course, I guess, for the most part. But to be fair, it was only because of the fact that, well, we got to see a few impactful returns. And what are those returns? Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look as we kick off the card, as we kick off this episode, with the Raw Women's title between Bianca Belair, the champion, and the aforementioned Becky Lynch. This was a rather interesting matchup because of the fact that last year's SummerSlam, Becky Lynch won. WrestleMania, Bianca Belair won. This was basically the rubber match. And every other match that they were a part of together was always either a triple threat or a fatal 4-way. And tonight, not tonight. No, not tonight. This past Saturday, Bianca Belair won the rubber match and thus ended the rivalry of Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. And then of course too, we saw Bayley return after being sidelined with an injury. We saw Io Shirai, or I guess now Io Sky, come back also from injury. But we also got to see a re-signing of Dakota Kai. And you guys are wondering, wait a minute, Dakota Kai, wasn't she released after WrestleMania weekend or something? Yes, she was. However, with Triple H now running things on, across all 4 brands, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, NXT UK, he thought, you know what? Let's bring back Dakota Kai, and she came back. I'm surprised. I'm actually a little surprised though, because people forget that both Dakota. I can't speak. The fact that people forget that both Dakota Kai and Io Sky, Io Shirai. I'm calling her Io Shirai. Both Shirai and Kai are both former NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, but people also forget that Io Shirai is, I believe, the third longest reigning NXT Women's Champion of all time, having held the title for 304 days, which is not too bad actually. And just when, and just when you thought that all 3 women were gonna attack Bianca Belair, nope. Back in the ring comes Becky Lynch, and it wasn't what Bayley wanted. It wasn't what Bayley wanted, but it was awesome to see both Dakota and Io come back. But it's kind of weird that they're heels, but it makes sense because of the fact that when Dakota Kai turned her back on her so-called best friend, Tegan Nox, if you guys remember her, at TakeOver War Games back in 2019, she ended up turning heel. The same thing goes with Io. When Io attacked Candice LeRae after failing to become NXT Women's Champion, that was when she ended up becoming a heel. But over time, the fans just kept loving Io Shirai, kept loving Dakota Kai, and just kept getting by with them. So they were like, you know what, fuck it, fuck it, we'll just let them become baby faces. And now they're back as heels, which I don't know, honestly I don't know if that'll work out, but we will see. But other than that, I think this was probably one of the best matches on the card. This was absolutely incredible. This was, I would say that this was a 5-star match, but I'm giving it 3.5. I'm giving it 3.5 stars. I'm being generous with this one because this was probably by far one of the greatest rivalries of all time. As far as women's wrestling goes, this was probably by far one of the best. And Bianca Belair defeating Becky Lynch once and for all and retaining the Raw Women's title, knowing full well that she no longer has to deal with the Money in the Bank briefcase, it's a sigh of relief for Bianca Belair. But I mean, I'm glad that the Bayley came back, with both Dakota Kai and Io Shirai. But as far as what's next, we'll find out. We will find out tonight on Raw. But this matchup, 3.5 stars, easy. Next up, we have Logan Paul and The Miz in a rivalry that was based on jealousy. It was just based on jealousy. Miz got jealous that Logan Paul, was more successful than Miz. Plain and simple. I've talked about this multiple times on the channel over the last couple of years. It doesn't matter who The Miz teams up with. It doesn't matter who it is, whether it's John Morrison, whether it's Alex Riley, whether it's Damian Sandow, whether it's his Miz Taraj. It doesn't matter. If his, no pun intended, entourage is more popular and more successful than he is, he'll stab him in the back. That's just The Miz. That is The Miz. That's how he's always been. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he did that to his own wife, Maurice, but then again, probably not. And I know I shouldn't have said that, but guys, let's be real. This is The Miz we're talking about here. He'll stab anybody in the back just to be more popular. Here's the thing. This ain't no popularity contest. WWE ain't no popularity contest, and I'm fully aware of that. I am 100% aware of that. And yet, for The Miz, he thinks it's a popularity contest, which is kind of hilarious. But I gotta admit though, Logan Paul actually took Miz to the limit, which is pretty crazy. I'm giving this one 3 stars because this was probably Logan Paul's biggest victory, aside from his match with The Miz, teaming up with The Miz against the Mysterios at WrestleMania. This was a big win for Logan Paul because he pinned a former WWE champion in The Miz, which is incredible. But what comes next is the aftermath, the fallout, which will happen tonight on Raw. But knowing Miz, he'll say that it's a fluke. He'll want a rematch. Blah blah blah. Blah, blah, blah. Next up, we have the United States title between Bobby Lashley and Theory. This was a foregone conclusion. Theory, there was no way in hell Theory was gonna regain the United States title. There was no way in hell. This match, I'm gonna be generous. 3 stars. 3 stars easy because this was probably not the worst, but probably one of the most lackluster matches on the card. And that says a lot. That says a lot because Bobby Lashley, when it comes to Bobby Lashley, he does not put on lackluster matches. He puts on instant classics. And Theory, he's sort of a lackluster competitor, to be honest. But I gotta admit, oh, my hair got caught on my lips. Anyway, I gotta admit, Theory's been impressive as of late since coming to the main roster. Since coming back to the main roster, what was it, like last year or something like that? Sometime last year. But to be honest, it's his ego that gets in the way of what matters most, and that's success. All he cares about is taking selfies and pissing off Roman Reigns. And not just Roman Reigns, pissing off everybody. Literally, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, the Usos, anybody he can piss off, he'll fucking do it. That's just theory. But again, this match, 3 stars easy. But this was a foregone conclusion, to be honest. Next up, we have a no disqualification tag team match between the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Damian Priest and Rey and Dominic Mysterio. This one, I'm gonna be fair on this one. I'm gonna give this one 3 stars for 2 reasons. Number 1 is the fact that we got to see Edge come back for the first time in well over a couple months. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. I thought so. For the first time in well over a month, like 2 months. 2 months we hadn't seen Edge. He comes back, new hair, different attitude, same Edge, not giving a fuck who you are. He'll kick your ass and love it. But the second reason is the fact that we got to see Dominic Mysterio pick up his first Summerslam victory, which is awesome. And for someone of his stature, who's been in WWE for 2 years, that says a lot. And he's been in well over at least 150 matches since coming to WWE alongside his father. And he's a former tag team champion. Think about that, guys. A former tag team champion. So for them to pick up a victory over 2 former NXT champions in both Damian Priest and Finn Balor, that says a lot. So again, 3 stars easy. Next up, we have Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. I'm gonna be honest. This was probably by far the most hilarious match I've ever seen. Not because of how the match ended, but because of the fact that Pat McAfee decided to play mind games with Happy Corbin and bring out the Nashville men's choir. Just singing "Bomb Ass Corbin," and I was just like staring at them like, what the hell? This is just too funny. And another thing that made me laugh the most was the fact that Corbin thought it was okay to rep the colors of the Indianapolis Colts, in which he forgets that the Colts and the Tennessee Titans have been rivals for years. That right there became his ultimate downfall, as Pat McAfee saw an opening with the referee's back turn, kicked Corbin with a low blow, and hit him with a sunset bomb, or I guess as it's supposed to be known by Queen Zelina anyway, as Code Red, to pick up a victory. This is his second victory in WWE as a competitor, because, as I said before, he's been in 4 matches. Corbin, Theory, Adam Cole at NXT TakeOver 30, and of course teaming up with Butch and as well as Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan against Adam Cole and the rest of the Undisputed Era, which consisted of Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong, who now has his own faction known as Diamond Mine. This one, 3.5 stars easy. This was actually insane. I have to admit, this was pretty good. Next up, we have a tag team match for the undisputed titles, between the Usos, the champions, and the Street Profits, with Double J, Jeff Jarrett, as the guest referee. This was actually pretty good. I would give this one 4.5. I would definitely give this one 4 stars, simply because of the fact that this was literally an instant classic. If you guys thought that Money in the Bank was an instant classic, this one was an even much so instant classic. But Street Profits came close, but of course in the end, Usos picked up the victory as always. And the question becomes, is there any tag team that can take the titles off of the Usos? I mean, to be fair, if there was one, I would probably have to say New Day. New Day would probably be the only tag team that can push the Usos to their limit and take the titles off of them at the same time. But with Xavier Woods now sidelined with an injury, again, same injury, Achilles tendon injury, at the hands of the new Vicious Viking Raiders, not sure we'll get that match again. But again, this match, absolutely insane. 4.5 stars easy. Now, originally we were supposed to have had Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins, but unfortunately that did not come to pass because of what happened last week on Raw. If you guys remember. And my brother just texted me, guys. Hang on. There we go. Anyway. Sorry guys, my phone went, the screen on my phone went sideways. I had to flip my phone up like this so it could be straight. Anyway, unfortunately the match did not come to pass as far as what, because of what happened last week. But Riddle was taught by his Arcade Bro tag team partner Randy Orton to not take shit from anybody, and Riddle proved it. Rollins came out, WWE officials came out. They beat the hell out of each other, and it took a stomp to knock Riddle down, and Seth ended up leaving. So, I don't know exactly when we're gonna get this match, but who knows. Next up, we have a match for the SmackDown Women's title between Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey, and this was literally the worst match of them all. Literally the worst match on the card. I'll be generous and I'll give this one I'll give this one 2.5 stars. The reason being is because it is true that Liv Morgan did win, but technically so did Ronda Rousey, because Liv Morgan tapped out to Ronda Rousey's armbar, but Liv Morgan pinned Ronda Rousey. So at this point, it's more like a lesser of two evils. On one hand, Liv Morgan retains. On the other hand, Ronda Rousey becomes a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion. It was obviously with controversy, but at the end of it all, Ronda Rousey turned heel again, which I kind of expected. To be honest, I kind of expected it, because this is Ronda Rousey we're talking about here. She don't give a damn about the fans. She never did. She was always about business, and when it comes to Ronda Rousey, business is booming. So, 2.5 stars, easy. This was like one of the worst matches on the card because of how short it was. It was like not even like 10 minutes. It wasn't even 10 minutes. It was like about 6, maybe 7 minutes at best. But we now move on to the main event, where the undisputed Universal title between the champion Roman Reigns and the challenger Brock Lesnar for the final time. One last time, one last match, last man standing. This was probably by far the greatest last man standing match I had ever seen ever. This match, 5 stars, easy. 5 stars, easy. Because while it is true that it took the Usos, Paul Heyman, Theory, and Roman Reigns himself to beat Brock Lesnar, beat him down for a 10 count, Brock Lesnar kept getting back up. He kept getting up and up and up and up and up so many times. Brock Lesnar would do whatever the hell it takes, would do whatever the hell it took to become an 11-time champion. But it was not meant to be because of the fact that, well, the Usos and Roman Reigns took pieces of the announce table, threw it on Brock Lesnar, and thus Brock Lesnar lost, and the rivalry, after 7 years, has come to an end. But now we know that at Clash at the Castle, which is WWE's first premium live event in the UK in 30 years, Roman Reigns will be defending the Undisputed Universal title against Drew McIntyre. And it's interesting because Roman Reigns is going to truly be in Claymore country in the UK, where McIntyre was born and raised. So the question becomes, who's got the advantage? Is it McIntyre or is it Reigns? The answer is both, because Roman, he's got the Usos. He's gonna rely on the Usos to retain the title, but McIntyre is gonna rely on everybody in the UK and everybody in the WWE universe around the world to try to pick up a victory over Roman Reigns. Will it happen? We will see. We will see. But all in all, I gotta admit, this card, best we had ever seen in years. I am giving this one 4 stars easy. This was literally the best card we had ever seen in a long time. Never have I ever seen a card look this good, and the matches live up to its hype. I've never seen anything like it. But that brings me to the question of the day. What were your guys' thoughts on SummerSlam, and was it exactly what you expected? Or did you expect something else? Because the way I see it, I honestly don't think I would have changed anything about the card. I honestly wouldn't have. So make sure you guys post in the comments below your thoughts, and that will do it for this week's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Monday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And as always, make sure you guys follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.